I'm Jeremy, and I've driven countless cars from around the world. But my passion is exotic cars. The faster, the better.
I'm Chris. I love driving too, but I like a little more comfort and practicality in my ride.
Together, we'll take you behind the drive.
Hey there, Chris.
Hey, Jeremy. Polishing up the old Porsche, I see.
Yeah, just thought I'd clean it up a little bit.
Well, not old, but...
No, as a matter of fact, this is a 2011.
And I see the alphabet soup here.
Yes, the GT3 is the most focused and lightest of Porsche's line of 911s, and the RS is the most focused and lightest of the GT3s.
Right. A little wide in the back.
Sits on the wide-body chassis of the 911, so yes, it does have a wider stance, and you can tell with the wing at the back and the splitter at the front, this is definitely a track-focused car.
And I also noticed it uses the Porsche carbon ceramic brake technology. These discs are carbon-treated ceramic discs. Durability is up, about a 50% weight loss.
Well, what do you think of the car overall?
Well, I kind of want to take it out, see how it all plays out.
Let's do it. I love how everything in the car just feels very precise. The shifter's very precise, notches very positively, the steering's precise and immediate, the car changes direction with very little provocation, and yet remains incredibly hooked up. The flywheel in this car, they shaved 1.4 kilograms off the weight of the previous model, so what you have is an engine that builds revs and sheds revs much faster. Despite all of that, it's still a comfortable place to be. I mean, this road surface is really pretty poor, but in here you wouldn't even really notice.
There's some cars where you just feel every little thing, and then there's other cars that just bounce up and down and you feel nothing and you feel like you have no control. This seems to take the best of both worlds.
The Porsche technicians drove this car to the Nürburgring and entered it in the 24-hour race, where it finished 13th overall, and then at the end of the race, drove it home again. Speaks volumes of the capability of the car as a race car and as a focused enthusiast car, and yet also speaks volumes as to its practicality as a daily driver. You ready for your shot?
Let's go. The spoiler on the back kind of limits visibility a little bit in the rear.
It does, and I find that unfortunately it's the perfect height to obscure the roof of highway patrol cars.
Time to bust out the radar detector then, I guess.
This car definitely does goad you into driving faster than you might expect to.
Hello.
What do you think?
You weren't kidding.
Yeah, it does get up and go, doesn't it?
Oh, that was great. Are we taking this thing on the track?
Absolutely.
G'day.
How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you. This is Chris. This is Samantha Stevens, Australian Tarmac Rally champion.
Oh, like a professional driver.
Yeah.
We figured, given that we were going out in a high-performance car like this, you probably need a little professional help, because it is pretty extreme.
Yeah, I guess I could use a little work on my driving skills, especially in a car like this. It's kind of intimidating, actually.
Oh, well, we can fix that. How about I take him for a lap?
You got it.
Come on. So, first time in a Porsche?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm kidding.
This particular model, though.
This particular model, this is, I've got to say, the first time for me. And I normally drive on the other side of the road, so it'll be interesting. Oh, look, the gear shift's in the wrong side. It's all right, we'll be right.
Why is a Porsche what makes that different than other cars?
Basically because the engine's in completely the wrong spot. With a Porsche, everything's in the back. So of course, the first thing to go is the back end. So you've got to drive with balance. And it's a really good way to learn how to balance a car through a turn and balance a car around a track. This one in particular is a lot of fun.
Was that on purpose?
much less intimidated now, I think.
How was he as a passenger?
How did you do, Chris?
I didn't know you could go around corners that fast.
It's all about balance. Well, now it's your time to scare me, so hop on in.
Somehow I don't think he'll disappoint.
Time to put that fancy book learning to use.
Trusting you here. There's your next apex, and it's a late apex. Look for the witch's hat or cone.
Okay, I see it right there.
So, light brake, balance the car. Good. Try to stay back in the seat and stay relaxed. Hang over to the right. Turn the head, turn the car,
Okay,
and
all right.
tuck it into the left. Good. And there's your next apex. I don't know why Jeremy was so hard on you. You're not that bad.
Like I said, I do okay.
Well, I have to say I'm impressed.
Why?
Well, it looks like everything's still attached.
What are you talking about? Of course it's attached.
I don't even see that much gravel in it.
There shouldn't be any. You did really well. I think you've given him a hard time, Jeremy. You did well. You should probably take it for a spin. What do you reckon?
Awesome.
I didn't think you'd be too upset about that.
First thing you notice is the throttle response is absolutely incredible. I mean, the car just picks up from a standing start so quickly. It just feels like there's no mass at all. And into the braking zones, you can really lean on the brakes. The car sheds revs and builds revs because of that lightened flywheel like you couldn't believe. There is a level of intimidation to this car. You realize that with that rear engine hung way out beyond the rear wheels, you have a lot of mass, and that is a concern. But you know that if you don't do anything silly, if you can keep the car balanced in the corner, you don't come off the brakes too hard, or you don't get on the throttle too hard, the car, once it's set, cannot be unbalanced. As we saw during the city drive, the car is so benign if you're not going after it. Then again, you could drive it out here and go after and attack every corner, and the car would respond happily. We appreciate you coming out to help us.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, it's a long way to come, but if you keep bringing cars out like this, I'd love to do this again sometime.
We'll certainly try.
Awesome. Get on your way.
I'm driving.
All right.
Twist his arm.
What did you think of the day?
Fun times.
And how was it on the racetrack with Samantha?
You know, actually it was great. I learned a lot. She taught me some driving tips, my skill level. I can feel it creeping up ever so slowly.
More importantly, in a car like this, what was it like in a track that's as technical as Chuckwalla is?
Really, it was an extra challenge with the rear engine in this car.
It is a trait that Porsche has been known for in the past, and I have to say I've driven a lot of Porsches in my experience, but they really hide the rear engine bias in this car very well from my perspective. The other angle is the driver aids and the active suspension management. They do a lot to inspire the confidence that it takes to push the car hard, wouldn't you say?
Right. No, I would agree, Now, I had all those gadgets on.
I think it would be tough for anybody who's a relatively competent driver to not feel confident in this vehicle. And quite frankly, in terms of being an all-around value, I think it would be tough to beat.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's a great car for the road, great car for the track.
So safe to say you really enjoyed this one.
I actually did. And even the ride to the track, at the track, and the ride back.
You know what? I think we're going to have to take this to the track again.